welcome to Access Sportsnet. Lakers driven by your Southern California Honda dealers, Chris McGee, James Worthy, Derek Fisher, Allie Clifton will be joining us soon. Brez working remotely, Treadell in the green room, doing all the interviews. We'll be hearing from the players soon. The preseason is over. The Lakers win all 4 games. Opening night 4 days away, December 22nd against the Clippers. What have we learned about this team in the last couple of weeks, James?
Well, they're extremely talented, very versatile. They have a lot of lineups that they could use. I think they are paying attention to, same thing that they came out of the bubble with, defensive-oriented team. I think that's going to be their staple once again. Tonight was a little sloppy until the third quarter when they got a defensive unit in there, and they were able to slow Phoenix down, hold them to 40% shooting. But I see a team that's on another mission. They added some players that's going to enhance what they already had. And so I see a defensive-oriented team that has a lot of offense to go with it.
I feel like we learned for sure that this team's, I think their chemistry, their camaraderie, like those things have carried over, right? Like you don't see a lot of ego and guys still feeling territorial about, oh, yeah, I was on the championship team last year, so you shouldn't necessarily get these minutes or this opportunity. A guy like THT stepping into his opportunities in that way, that's part of the culture that's been created. Like, this is for everybody. And if you go out and perform and you do the things and show the habits that we practice, you'll get a chance to play. So that's what I've seen in this preseason, like the culture that since LeBron joined, that they've been working to build in the front office. Anthony Davis, Frank Vogel, great additions. They're in a really good spot. And so it's really just a matter of doing the day-to-day work and, staying in love with that process of being great.
Deep team as well. We learned that. All right, Anthony Davis scored 19 of his 35 in the third quarter. Let's hear from ADs with Mike Treadell.
All right, Anthony Davis, 6 for 7 from 3, man. I don't know if you're supposed to be shooting that efficiently from downtown. What's going on with the stroke this preseason?
Just trying to get back in the rhythm, find my game. Coach wants me to shoot more threes, and why not, get used to it in the preseason and get the shots up. So that's all it was. Just trying to find a rhythm and just be confident in my shot, be confident in the game, and work on my game in the preseason games before we get started.
First half reminded me, AD, of early in the bubble when you guys were mostly thinking about trying to stay healthy, but those competitive juices seem to come out. The defense picks up a level in the third quarter. Is that what happened to turn things around, even though it was a preseason game?
Yeah, anytime we go out there and play, we want to work on good habits, work on our game, and the thing that we can do is control how we play on defense. And Coach got us on about our defensive intensity at half, and we closed the first quarter and the second quarter pretty good. First quarter they had, I think, 39 points, and we held them to, I think, 20-something in the second quarter, and then played a great defensive half in the second half. So we want to continue to work on our defense and be a dominant defensive team like we were last year. And it starts in the preseason. We got new guys, so we're going to continue to figure each other out and find ways that we can be better than we were last year.
Yeah, you mentioned the defense last year. That was a big thing that carried you to the championship. How different is this team? And I know it's tricky to judge after the preseason games, AD, but how are you feeling about the way things are coming together heading into the opener?
We feel good. We feel very good. The things we were able to do on the defensive end so quickly with our new guys is, it involves a lot of trust. It involves a lot of the new guys caring about playing defense, and it's about our schemes. And Coach complimented us on how well we're gelling together on the defensive end, doing things that we're really not supposed to be doing this early. And we got a lot of great cerebral players, Mark, Wes, that we picked up. So Trez, and we've been able to do some things that necessarily probably wouldn't be able to do last year. But, 2 totally different teams, both teams defensive-minded. So we just take it team by team and try to figure out ways that we can be great on the defensive end. But I feel good about our team, going to our home opener, play 2, Clippers twice and Phoenix twice, and saw 2 totally different teams, and we're able to win all 4. But even though we feel good about where we are, we still have a long way to go.
And then last thing for you, AD, real quick, Chicago kid, Taylor Horton-Tucker. You got that blood that runs deep there in the state of Illinois. What do you think of his preseason, and how does that help you going into the regular season?
He played his ass off. I mean, he's been great from day one. Even in the bubble, last year he's been great for us, and he's a kid who wants to learn, a kid who wants to go out there and compete and and get thrown in the fire. He doesn't shy away from matchups. He doesn't shy away from big moments. He listens, and that's all you can ask for from a guy who is a young player. And for him to come in and play with so much confidence and do good things for us on defense and on the offensive end is huge for us. And he's going to be a big role for us this year. And he's continuing to learn. I mean, this is, second year, and, he's still learning the game. So, the future is bright for him for sure.
Thanks, Eddie, man. We appreciate the time.
Yep, thanks, Mike.
All right, appreciate that, Mike. And Anthony Davis, AD, and LeBron in their final tune-up. They get extended minutes. LeBron plays 25. He ends up with 20. But I want to talk about Anthony Davis, guys. He is game ready, and it showed in that third quarter. He had 19 of his 35 in that third. He was 6 of 7 for 3 overall, 4 of 5 in that third quarter, and just 30 minutes, 35 points, Fish.
Yes, efficient. Still really wanted to try and figure out how to win this game. Like, I don't think they felt like the world was going to end, obviously, if they did it. Talked about Frank Vogel really getting on them at halftime about their lack of defensive intensity. And that's really what seemed to turn them on. Like, as they started to really lock in defensively. The Suns scored 39 points in the first quarter, finished with 113, 74 points the rest of the game. And so this Lakers team, anchored by Anthony Davis in the middle defensively, we're going to talk about the 35 points for sure. But I think he still has that defensive player of the year mentality, and that's going to be a good thing for this team to hang their hat on.
And big game, we saw it last year when this team was at their best. It was AD blocking shots, Lakers getting out in transition. AD not only dominated around the basket, but stepping out in his ability to hit the mid-range and to hit the threes. We saw it all on display there in that third quarter. Good sign that when he wants to turn it on and insert his will, he can, and the Lakers follow.
No question. 3 blocks tonight, and I saw several plays where guys had layups. They didn't even attempt them because he was around. So he has that presence. He's there. And that defensive unit they had out there in the third quarter looked really good. I'm sure that's something Vogel looked at. Kuz, Caruso, AD, I think Montrez was out there, and they did a good job of, getting steals and getting out and getting them back in the ball game. So that's where it's going to happen for them. Their defense, obviously always dictates what they do on the other end.
All right, let's get to the highlights. We get you out to Phoenix.
It's doing it for him, and we didn't let him down. It would have been great to do it, last game in his jerseys, but, it made us come out even more aggressive, even more powerful on both ends of the floor to make sure we close it out tonight. And I know he's looking down on us, proud of us. I know, Vanessa's proud of us. The organization's proud of us. It means a lot to us.
Kobe always liked to win every game, every opportunity, and so I think that's what inspired this team and will continue to inspire Laker Nation for all time. Kobe set a bar that we will work hard to maintain and make him proud, and we will celebrate him, all the time.
When I took the job, I remember he told me, he said, "Hey, I know what you did for me for 20 years. He said, I gave you 2-3 years, you'll fix this. You'll get the Lakers back on top." And I guess you were right, man. You gave me the energy to do it.
James, it's still tough to put into words, and Brez, none of us will ever forget January 26th, no question about that. Here's the thing, though. Throughout this entire playoff run, as you saw right there from Rob or the players or fans or us, Kobe was present. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah. I mean, he left his legacy. I mean, the Lakers have had some great, iconic players. I mean, the franchise was born on Elgin Baylor's back, and he came to Los Angeles, and we know Jerry West and Wilt and Magic and Shaq. Now we have LeBron, but Kobe is the most iconic Laker that's ever played the game. And it's taken me to play with Magic and play with Kareem and see, them perform and how they were and how powerful they were as iconic players. But Kobe, to me, he left a mark and a legacy that you will never forget. And you pull from that. You pull from his commitment and his excellence. And he was a freaking assassin. You know, he and Michael Jordan were almost identical. I don't care if it's a game of backgammon or checkers. They want to kill you. And so Kobe left that legacy, how he played, the shots that he made, the championships that he gave us, and what he gave us. He didn't have any hobbies. You know, it was basketball, and that's the memories that we'll always have of him. It'll always be with us.
I like how he was interwoven in this team after his untimely death, whether it was the 1, 2, 3 Mamba huddle breaks or just the persistent bringing up his name when reporters asked them, you know, what's important to you guys for this season? And no one guaranteed his championship. No one said, oh, yeah, we're going to do this for Kobe. You don't want to dishonor him in case something bad happens and you don't get that championship. I like what everyone said after the title had been secured. You know, we did this for Kobe. We thought about him day after day, week after week, month after month. I think Kobe would have been proud of this team, too. Some adversity. You know, they got to the bubble. Rondo gets hurt. The team goes 3-5 in the seeding games. That's not so sharp. Lost game 1 against Portland. Lost game 1 against Houston. Just enough adversity in the Denver and Miami series as well. That's when Kobe always was at his best, overcoming adversity.
Yeah, I think you bring up a great point. There's sadness that we didn't get to hear from Kobe throughout this championship run because he would have been really proud, and his voice is probably more needed now than it ever was before. Importance of getting the Lakers' first championship since Kobe played in 2010. What is that importance? It's been a long road. Maybe not for most franchises, but for the Lakers, the 10 years since the last one.
Yeah.
How important was it?
It was, first of all, unfamiliar territory for the Lakers to not be successful in the playoffs. And to be able to regain that after many trials and tribulations of coaches and different players, it was the ultimate achievement, you know, to be able to regain that title and get that 17th, you know, for me, before the Celtics were able to get their 18th. So to tie that up, Geeter, and to do it in AD's first year and in LeBron's really first full year, bringing in a coaching staff, Coach Vogel, and being able to achieve this was remarkable. And, you know, it's what the Lakers stand for and who they are.
The Lakers had only gone a couple of years of not making the playoffs. That was the old record, you know, before this 7-year drought finally came to an end. And one of them it did come to, for sure. James, you said it best. You know, LeBron comes on board. You know, kind of a tough start, 37 wins in his first season. But then you add AD. You had a guy like Frank Vogel who knew how to harness all these guys. He knew what buttons to push. Not a screamer at all. Very much a player's coach. Got them playing some really top-notch defense. And sure enough, the Lakers back where they belong, not just in championship contention, which is the goal every year, but hammering it home and winning it all.
Straight ahead, the ultimate tribute to Kobe.